Today we're gonna make chicken with tomatoes and capers. My kids love it. There's only like 6 ingredients in here, and that's if you're including olive oil. First thing we're gonna do is take care of the parsley, just because I don't wanna contaminate this. This is gonna go on at the end. It's not gonna be cooked. Any really large stems like this one, you definitely wanna get rid of. It takes a few minutes to do this, but it's worth it. I'm gonna cut half of these in half. The other half are going to remain whole. Give it a little bit of different texture. Take about 4 cloves of garlic. You can use as much as you want. If you want more, use more. I just want to talk about the capers. I always buy them from Costco. This jar, I think, is $5.99, might be $6.99. It's such a good deal. Those little tiny jars that you buy in the store, they're like $3 or $4. It's about a shot glass worth. And here's a shot glass worth of the caper vinegar. If you don't want to use that caper vinegar, use red wine vinegar or even white vinegar. That would be fine. That's a little bit on the saltier side. I did rinse these already. I took some salt out of the capers themselves, just in a mesh strainer, rinsed them. Kind of like same thing you would do for oil cured olives to remove some of the salt. I have almost 2 pounds of chicken here. This is 1.8, something very close. They're cut thin already. That's pretty good. That's about the thickness that we want. If you have a thicker piece, see how this one is much thicker? You can just fillet part of it off. And there's the thickness again that I want. And then I'm gonna cut the pieces, not bite size, but a little bit more than bite size. You can also pound it out if you want. You don't really need to for this dish, but prep it all. I'm gonna spread it out. We're gonna season it. My hands are clean right now. And I wanna season a lot of pepper on both sides. I want salt on both sides too, but just remember there is some salt from those capers and from the caper vinegar. Push it in, and then you can flip it all. And now you still have your clean hand to touch your salt and pepper again. I'm gonna sear the chicken first, and then we'll make the sauce. Get your heat on medium low, heat your pan up, let it, stainless steel especially, let it heat for a few minutes. So if you have a larger pan, it would be a lot easier. I'm gonna have to work in batches here, probably maybe 3 batches. The batch you're gonna do, pat it dry. Okay, a little bit of olive oil in the pan. Pan it both sides, and then you're gonna get it right in. Looks good. And the trick to doing it is just don't touch it. It will pop right off. As long as you got your pan to the right temperature, you'll be fine. Take your finger, you can press it to see if it's done. If it's very soft still, like kind of mushy, it's not done. You need about 1 more minute. Okay, a little bit more oil. And you can do the next batch now. I work in batches, finish them all, then we're gonna move on to the next step. All right, there's the last of the chicken. It took 3 batches. That's okay. I'm just gonna leave it tented on the side. Put a little bit more oil in and put all the garlic in. Just let it cook for a minute or 2, just till it gets lightly golden. You don't want it to burn at all. You can see the pan it's very brown, but it's not black. When you're cooking your chicken, if you feel like you're burning it all, just lower that heat. And if you do get too much black in the bottom of your pan, you can use another pan after you do your chicken. That's totally fine. Okay, so right away, that's pretty good. I'm gonna put all the tomatoes in. The liquid from the tomatoes you're gonna be able to scrape off the bits. That's why you only let that garlic cook for like maybe even less than a minute. It smells really, really good. You just let these tomatoes cook for like 1 minute, maybe 2. This is a very fresh tomato sauce. It's not even really a sauce. They're just kind of breaking down just a little bit. They're blistering. You don't want to kill these tomatoes at all. If you want to kill tomatoes and you want a sauce that's a liquid sauce, just start with a can of crushed tomatoes or whatever. But here we want them to kind of stay whole. All right, so it's been about a minute and a half. I'm gonna put in the caper vinegar. I'm gonna turn my heat to high. Half a cup of water and the capers. And we're gonna let this cook out, and this is gonna be the sauce. Let it come to a boil, let it cook for 2 minutes. As it's boiling now, take your wooden spoon and you can scrape off any remaining bits. So that dark color is basically, it's the chicken bits, everything from doing the 2 pounds of chicken in the pan, it's combining with the vinegar. About a 2 to 3 minute strong boil, let it thicken up just a tiny bit, and then we'll put the chicken back in. All right, it's been about 2 minutes. I'm gonna turn the heat down to medium low to low. Put all the chicken back in. And then just very gently let it come to a simmer again. Let that chicken warm through. It's off the heat. Let's put all the parsley in. Save a little bit to garnish right on top. Mix all this in. If you have too much sauce, which I might, just don't put it all on. So there you have it. Serve it with bread, mop up all that delicious sauce. The sauce is so good. It doesn't need anything because it's the vinegar and the capers add so much flavor, along with those fresh tomatoes. You can make this all year round. We do make this all year round. It's not like a dish, like a heavy dish that you're gonna associate just with the winter. I hope you enjoyed this chicken with capers and tomatoes. Really, really simple one. Hope you make it. Let me know if you make it, and I will see you next time.